And as soon as we've left earlier, we are already back in. Isn't that wonderful? We're in for the second game of the matchup between SLOTHS versus PERTINAX. This matchup decides who will go against a dynasty in the finals of this, of course, promotion tournament for Div 1 here at the ESLOL. And for that, I still have by my side Freshtana. Welcome back, Freshtana.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
It's nice to be here.
Always nice to have you. And we've had a first game where the SLOTHS took a win. A very strong win. They definitely came in giving a statement that they're not here to lose. They've had one hell of a game. Took a bit long to finish. I think we both agreed on that.
Yes.
But definitely very dominant through and through. And heading into the second game, we'll have to see how PERTINAX adapts. We already know that they have picked a red side, so they don't change side on that aspect. They'll keep the last pick for themselves. We'll have to see if they change anything to the game plan, to the bans, to the picks, because there's always adaptation to be made, especially when SLOTHS suddenly come with a bit of a surprise comp.
Yeah. It could happen a lot. I mean, I think now that both teams did not switch sides, we should expect more or less the same thing. By the way, can Reggie make the champ select noises a little bit less? Thank you. But yeah, I believe we will probably see almost the same draft. Just because, why not? I mean, it's the same sides, they won with it, so I wouldn't change too much. PERTINAX need to change a little bit.
Yeah. They most definitely need, because it went really well for the SLOTHS in the previous game. So they don't want to, well, get the same pitfall here.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, already seeing the Kindred ban, the usual bans coming in. Zeri ban, this time a bit earlier, so maybe different ban here. Maybe they're gonna ban one of the picks from last game. They were all pretty terrifying, but yeah, have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest problems was Camille, but that's something for the second ban phase. And besides that, I don't think that it's really a draft issue. I think the Jarvan just did not work. He got invaded. He died a lot. He was spotted a lot of wards and stuff. So I think it was just the early game and maybe the set pick and stuff. But no, they actually ban the Nocturne. So Ahri is still open. If they want to first pick it again, the Jarvan, they could first pick it as well. But I think never change running systems or just pick Ahri.
I mean, the Nocturne was very terrifying last game, definitely lived up to his expectations. Shredded was able to pull ahead quite a few lanes actually with some nice ganks, so worked out really well in the end for them.
Yeah. And I believe we will see a Saya again. Just because it's Mr. Hubs as champion probably. Yeah. And then the question for me becomes, I mean, Jarvan is open, so try it again maybe. But Ahri already is fine against Jarvan. So I would rather pick a mid laner now. But the decision, of course, is PERTINAX.
Yeah. Go for the Nautilus. So they also don't have to ban it against Grizzin because he cannot pick it now. Might be getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine in this game.
That's true.
And that rounds up that bot lane, Nautilus with the Xayah together. Pretty good. And SLOTHS do not change. Yeah, don't change the running system. The virus did work, although there were the moments where, especially at the end of the game, you had Makala who was able to find purchase onto him with Jarvan, and he wasn't able to do much, but I feel like in the early to mid-game stages, he was definitely a terrifying force. and they were not able to find purchase. And the late game was anyways picked up by Lex afterwards by just split pushing. This time they pair it with Leona, also very aggressive here.
Yeah, I think they could have picked the Jarvan as well, because Jarvan was a really big threat to Varus. And usually against Nautilus you can pick the Braum, for example. So the Leona is kind of interesting. I mean, she always baits out like the Xayah ultimate, because you can just try to place your ultimate on her and then she uses her ultimate just to prevent the stun. So that's usually the interaction. Now, Merlin on Orianna.
Yeah.
I would assume maybe Gwen and Camille ban for PERTINAX. And on the other side, maybe the Jarvan ban, especially now with the Orianna Jarvan is pretty strong. So, but no, there's actually
Viego. Yeah, Shredded has no champ yet. You have the Jarvan ban, as you've predicted. Fares well with that. Orianna is also a huge threat to the Varus. With that, you already take that out of the equation.
I don't know why I'm so tired. The second I start casting, I'm just tired. I don't know.
You need to cast standing up. That's
Probably.
the trick.
Probably. Maybe I need some fresh air as well.
Just
or
down
maybe
a
some caffeine.
Yeah, just down a coffee or something before. And now we have a Kayn ban as well on the sides of PERTINAX, and a Malphite ban with Rift SLOTHS.
Yes. Yeah, the Kayn was really strong in the series against Full Clear, so I understand that. And on the other side, I like the Jarvan ban. The Malphite is a little bit, I don't know, I don't quite understand it, and Makala actually wants the last pick. So that's interesting, but now we will see just a Gwen, in my opinion. Gwen against Zion, pretty free matchup. You played it plenty of times, so I would just slam Gwen here.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if there is one of few picks for which Lex is infamous, the Gwen is definitely one of those. I mean, he's just a beast on the Gwen, really strong on it overall, and we have the Xin Zhao for Shredded now.
Yeah, I mean, Wukong is a little bit weak at the moment, but Wukong is fine against Xin Zhao. Wukong is good with Orianna. We might see a Wukong from Makla. That's at least one of my predictions. Gwen makes sense. Gwen is a good one. But I don't know if Makla wants to play Wukong because he's really weak. I mean, Wukong just got nerfed a lot of times, so...
just got nerfed a lot of times.
Yeah, he's just not at his best. But yeah, I really like this pick, actually. He played a lot of good games on Creeps. I think even in the series against Dynasty, he won with it, so why not?
Yeah, overall also can be a very strong champion. Can deal a huge damage, a load of damage. This just adds another threat to their list, along with the Orianna and the Xayah. And then you have two bulky frontliners to set them off, which Lex will have to take most care of. With that, both team comps are set here. And I'm a bit disappointed there is no color theme going on. So I am, as always, disappointed by that.
Oh no.
Yep, nobody wins. Nobody wins.
Color theme that important for you?
Yep. Yep, it's the most important in League. People don't talk to you about it enough because nobody knows the game that well. But if you have a color theme going on in your champs, you automatically win. It's 100% science. But anyways, we are headed into game 2 of tonight. Rift SLOTHS already with 1 point are ahead here, and PERTINAX need to get back in. And with that, they've changed their composition quite a bit compared to the previous matchup. So did the Rift SLOTHS actually. So we're in for a new fiesta here, and we'll see how that goes.
True. We will see what they are up to and what the plan for both sides is in the end. Just from laning perspective, top is over from the start, so I wouldn't play into the top lane for either of those two junglers. Maybe Shredded can play into top lane just to get Gwen more ahead, but I would definitely try to play around bot lane. You have plenty of CC, you have plenty of setup on those lanes, you have two ADCs, so just play for bot lane, and maybe at 6 or something you can try to play for Khan, for example. But Makela, for example, isn't really like the best ganking jungler, so he will probably just try to invade and just try to go for farm and maybe counter gank. But Shredded should focus on bot lane, focus on mid lane, focus on top lane, so he should focus on the ganking aspect.
Yeah, most definitely use that toolkit for that end. And once again, we have Soto start for the Rift SLOTHS, which allows both top and bot lane to be there a bit ahead compared to the enemies, and this can always already be used from a good laner. Here we have Grisen waiting into the bush.
Yeah, Leona oftentimes is just strong with level 2, so maybe I should try to get to level 2 and then try to engage, of course. We have Aftershock versus frozen stuff thingy, glacial. So Nautilus isn't really that tanky. So you could try to just kill him, to burst him or something. That would be one way to play it, or just wait for him to engage, because usually in engage versus engage lanes, the support who engages first loses. So I don't know if they even want to play aggressive, or if they just want to wait for the enemy to do something.
Yeah, looks like they're just keeping the pressure up, but indeed not fighting an engine. I mean, especially PERTINAX is pretty close to the turret. You're playing against a Nautilus who could get you a bit too close to the turret. Just keep the pressure going. Works just fine for the bot lane of the Rift SLOTHS right now.
Yeah, that's true.
We also have Lex, who did a bit of a deep ward. Gets a beat on where Makela is at right now. He is currently going really well into this clear, in my opinion. Moving forward really fast, which is good. That's what he wants on that grade.
Yeah, he wants to clear, he wants to full clear all the time, and usually wants to invade because he is usually a strong duelist. Same goes for Tsingzao. But because Tsingzao has his Get Closer and the knock-up and stuff, usually wants to skirmish and gank. That's those two identities. But you already see that Tsingzao kind of cleared everything beside Crux, while now Graves cleared everything with the Scuttler and is then on the move, so they are both evenly fast matched, but with one already on the recall and one maybe going to bot lane.
The engage on the bot lane from Grisen onto Leolas was backing in the bush, but the damage is there. Ignite is taking on both supports. Yeah, Shredded is there, but not in time to leverage anything out of the situation. Although Grisen stays a bit to try to look for something, with Ardafla out of mana as well. It's gonna be rough. Keep the pressure going. There's still something to be done, but careful, Makela is also on the way. Maybe just shove that wave in, then they can probably back.
Yeah,
Safety.
that was important to help with the shove, just to give them a clean recall and not get freezed on while Makela then could try to gank them. So with that, they're now safe. Of course, Shredded needed to waste a little bit more time, so Makela is already on the move. I mean, Shredded got some lane minions. That's why he has at the moment a farm advantage, but I think for him those minions are less worth it, I guess, because of the jungle item. So it's actually not that big that he got some minions.
Yeah.
Oh, level 6.
Yeah, JJS flashes quite early on, avoids any damage that way, and stays safe here. Lex is gonna back now. got some quite a bit of money to cash in. I mean, he's got a 15 CS lead already.
That is true. And now, question is who will secure first Drake, who will secure Herald in 3 minutes, who will secure first part. I mean, last game was a lot more bloody. We saw a lot more early action and kills. This game is much rather offensively played from both sides.
Yeah, it's a lot less explosive than before. Even though you could have some early aggressions, but as you've said on the bot lane, with 2 of those engaged champions, it's always dangerous. Ooh, we have the engage on the top lane. Makula coming in. Some damage falling onto Lex, who has to be careful now. He's starting to retreat, flashes towards his turret, and is able to get to safety.
Yeah, he had no ultimate to help himself, but with the flash he was safe. And now there's a Drake from SLOTHS. So in the end, they go for the cross map play, and they get something out of it.
Yeah, perfect, beautiful. Drake, indeed, going to them. And for the rest, indeed, fully even game. I mean, barely any gold difference. That's not really discernible. We have Makula taking the enemy blue buff, which is already always small bonus. And we do have the Herald, which is coming in slowly but surely. And going to be the next objective to look for from both junglers.
That's right, Makla is on his way on top lane, Merlin as well. But they just go all of their Herald is spawning in 40 seconds. And Shredded needs to decide if he wants to contest it. They might even send Chrisen to top lane. They might even want to lane swap for the Herald, who knows. But first of all, Makla now sneaked into one of those brushes. And Lex is maybe alone on its own.
Yes, has to be very careful. He's getting really low. Flash is not up. He gets some nice damage onto Makula, however, is not going to be able to get the kill. Yeah, and dies. First blood goes to JJS here.
It was a good try from him to survive the situation, going onto the squishier jungler. And now Merlin may be in trouble.
Ooh, very nice charm here. The EQ is sitting as well. The damage is down to Merlin. No, he's going to be able to get away with the shield. Close call. Well played from the Orianna player.
Yep. Bukan did not have enough damage, and I think with level 6 of Chrisen they can go for it. But without, it was just not enough damage to kill it. But at least they get a clean recall. And Merlin loses some CS underneath the turret. So at least something for them. And Drake for first blood is also fine, especially because it's first blood on a Sion, who is even behind in CS at the moment. So it's not a worst outcome.
It only evens the playground for him, and Lex on the Gwen should be able to wrestle back on top in that matchup, I believe.
Yeah, it's hard winning. I mean, there's not really much to be done in a Sion in this lane. He can just survive and just try to hold the turrets for as long as he can, but especially later on, Gwen can just go underneath the turret, just auto-attack it, and Sion cannot really punish it, so it's a really, really hard matchup for Sion to play.
Yeah, we can already see that Lex can just almost do whatever he wants. Shredded just around the corner as well to give him backup and to also counter jungle a bit. Might coming in against JJS, uses the blast cone. JJS is retreating towards the turret already. Quite low, got mid live already. But don't tower dive in the meantime on the bot lane. We also have a bit of an aggression coming in. The corrupted chain goes Ori, depth charge onto Ardef, a lot of damage falling onto Mr. Hub. With the slow from the E is not going to be able to come in. JJS comes in with the unstoppable charge. Lots of damage falling onto Shredded as Jolin joins in, and Makula is here as well. Now Bukan is able to join in, but it's too late. His teammate is dead and he's going to die as well. Now it's Lex's time to shine as he is able to pick up the kill on JJS. Maybe. It's a bit rough. He does get it, but dies in the end at the hands of Merlin. It is really good for PERTINAX because they're now 4-1 and with that 1k gold ahead.
Yeah, good fighter. Shredded a little bit too far in the enemy jungle, just got caught by JJ's ultimate. And I mean, Shredded played this Tsingtao in the last series against PERTINAX 4 times, and he won just 1 out of 4 and lost 3 out of 4. So this Tsingtao just isn't really working for him at the moment again. And he is behind in CS, he's behind in kills. So this Graves will out jungle him probably for the rest of this game.
Yes, this puts him in a bit of a rough spot here because we know jungler is a very important position. We have Grizzon coming in on to Leolas here. The enemy AD carry, Mr. Hub, is not there. Put the Herald on the bot lane, get that plating money. At least get some money back in your pockets. Even scales a bit here.
Yeah, that's at least something, especially for Dafla, who still is 0-0-0, so some more gold for him will definitely help. Know both ADCs with their mythic Dragon Slayer against Blade of Structa. And with that, both are really strong. If the Drake spawns, then both sides probably want to contest it, but against this, Graves contesting could be painful. Yes, a God Drinker already, boots, so there's just no, there's just a big difference with Tsingtao, who has nothing basically. So I wouldn't fight against this Graves.
Yeah, so be careful, that's not really the best timing. Second Drake is up, and PERTINAX should be able to get it without too many issues having that lead. SLOTHS looking for angles, but now Yamakala coming in the mid lane.
It's crazy that Leona with this roam just lost more HP than Merlin, so that was not even a good roam from him especially. And now Drake spawned, so we probably see some action around the Drake area.
Yep, Mr. Hub's ulti already out. This is good for the Rift SLOTHS. PERTINAX is currently in the driver's seat. If they leverage this correctly, they could get a nice lead from the situation. Rift SLOTHS are just not gonna engage onto that Drake. They're letting them take it. No, there they come. Shove the wave in on the bot lane. Lex will not be able to join in, although he has TP. Yeah. Oh, they're able to steal it. We didn't see it.
Well played.
Yep.
By Shredded, just getting one more Drake. So it's the second one for his team, and like the gold is basically even, so with the Drakes they just have a little bit more scaling. That's a really good Drake, by the way. Really good Drake soul. So especially for the Quen, for the Tsingtao, they all get unkillable later on, so they can just play for soul, can just try to play as safe as they can, and should be pretty much fine for the Rift SLOTHS.
Yeah, absolutely. If you consider the Drake as gold value, they are ahead. Just not in pure gold. And well, the way it is currently, most of the PERTINAX's gold lead is concentrated on Makula, a little bit on Merlin. But for the rest, bot lane is even, and you have legs on the top lane who might also be even, actually. I think JJS actually did really well catching up in CS here.
Yeah, no, the Herald gets tried to taking down. You have both top laners on the bot lane, and Makala actually maybe dropping the Herald. He is still around the corner, but showed himself mid lane. But he is still there for a potential steal. There comes even the teleport from both top laners now.
Both TPs coming in. We have the engage here from Grizzon on the enemy. Leola's getting really low. Has to flash out. Makala gets charmed. That's a lot of damage. Falling on the enemy jungler. He is forced to retreat as well. Now we have shredded onto JJS. For now, PERTINAX. No, first death for them in this team fight. And now Merlin also forced to flash away. Makala looking for an angle here. Has to be careful. He has no ult left either. With that, they're able to pick up a kill and the Rift Herald without any casualties.
Yeah, just one support who dies in such a chaotic team fight. Merlin, by the way, almost like winning
Careful here, JJS gets CC'd, but he is pretty beefy. He's got quite a bit of health here. I don't think they're able to kill him. Markla just around the corner is, of course, also still a threat.
Yeah, and Herald charges top lane. So Merlin just found a really good shockwave in this last fight. That's the reason why they couldn't really chase more, because their backline just got crushed by Merlin. And it was really lucky that Makala didn't die, because he had to shut down, so surviving in the end was really important for him.
Yeah, definitely. That's why it was also risky for him to try to look for an angle here at the end, but he was able to keep his distance. With that, Riftsloft's able to also close the gold gap there was. They're now dead even with 2 Drakes. Slowly but surely, as you said earlier, they can go play for that soul and just take their time to get back in control of this game.
Yeah, looks good for Rift at the moment, and they even have the gold lead. Besides, they are behind in kills. They just have collected more money overall. I know the bot lane turret wants to get taken down, and there are some good poke from the Varus, so that's something. And on the top side, so both top laners essentially get pushed in by the bot lanes. And
shredded onto JJS here from behind.
And in the end, bot lane turret will probably fall a little bit sooner.
Lex also has to be careful. Makla is in the Tribush. We have the dab charge coming in, TP coming in from Bakan, but is he going to be able to survive long enough? Gets some nice damage with the needles on the enemy jungler. Ooh, Bakan is able to just annihilate Mr. Hub. So that's 1-1 for the Riftsloft's, plus the cross-map play, so to say, with the bot lane turret.
Yeah, Mr. Hub sadly was on the wrong side of the retreatment squad, and so Bakan could just kill him there in the 1v1 after the teleport. But it was a greedy dive in any case. But they wanted to do something as a cross-map play and then just got punished by the teleport.
Yeah, definitely. And slowly but surely, look at that. There's now a huge gold league starting to build up for the Riftsloft's. They were behind just a few minutes ago. Now there's already a 1k difference. So they are starting to get more and more control over this game. The next Drake is up. That could be sole point for the Riftsloft's if they play their cards right. And be careful, Bakan on the top lane does not have TP. We have Merlin already backing. JJS is already there as well and has to move through the river to get to his team. TP in from Merlin. As Makala starts off the Drake. Riftsloft's know that, but they know they cannot contest it in any way. They pick up mid lane turret, and yeah, that opens up the whole first wave of tier 1 turrets. JJS coming in with the ulti, but not hitting on to Bakan. Shredded in the enemy jungle is going to take the Raptors, actually, and just casually do his thing, go through the enemy jungle. I think he's seen Lex in the meantime on the bot lane, takes that tier 2, at least put some nice damage in it.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, they got Ghost out of Adafla, which, I mean, it's something, and they got, of course, a Drake. So PERTINAX with a good play overall, but of course they lost the mid lane turret for that. And this game compared with the last game is really quiet, really not kill heavy, and both sides just try to scale up. So let's talk about scaling. I would assume, I mean, Cyan scales endlessly, but he plays against a split pusher. So I would assume that like scales just a tiny bit better. Jungle, probably the Craves, a lot more stronger, and Tsingzao basically just has the early game for himself. Mid lane, basically even. Some people would say, because Ari is more like the assassin and not the control mage, that the control mage should scale up a little bit better, just because one 5-man shockwave is better than maybe the assassin damage. But I mean, if she finds one good charm, then that could be it. Anyway, there's a little skirmish of
Yeah,
JJS.
Lex engaging onto JJS, but Makula joining in to help him out. They're able to get some nice damage on Lex. Will Shredded be down time? No, he isn't, and he falls back right off the bat. But that means there's a bunch of people on the bot lane, and Grizzon does find purchase onto Leolas, and the CC chain is just insane. But with Mishap, decides to go back in, but that's going to sign his death as Ardafla picks up the kill. Mishap is maybe able, no, does not get the kill on Grizzon, is forced to flash away. And yeah, overall, 1-1 currently. Ooh, Merlin in a good angle. Might get caught here by Bakan, who comes in with the Spirit Rush. Careful, gets even closer. Nice Shockwave to win some time. Tries to get away. Flash with the Q. No, that does not land, and Merlin is able to get away as well.
Yeah, that was a close one, but in the end, like I said, 1-for-1 in total kills. But it's another kill for Makla, and with 2 items is really ballsy and really strong. So he could be a big threat. He can definitely one-shot all of them because they are all pretty squishy besides Leona. So with Makla maybe getting 3 or 4 items, he will definitely go through all of them with just 1 or 2 auto attacks. So they definitely need to be careful against him later on.
It's definitely is not able to protect the tier 1 on the top lane. With that, PERTINAX is able to slowly also open up the map, get some nice money back in their pocket. Careful here, Bakan joins into JJS as there is something brewing the enemy jungle. Both teams decide to disengage here.
And Average just has 0 damage against Sion. And later on, I mean, this Sion, it's basically really unkillable for the 4 members. I mean, Quen can definitely kill him with all the 2 damage. But, like, Xingzhou can never ever kill him. Ari, Penetration Varus. So, this Sion in a team fight is really strong. But if he is in a team fight and Lex is not, then PERTINAX will lose turrets and stuff. So, they always need to keep an eye on Lex, defend him, and then Sion can do crazy things in a teamfight.
Yeah, definitely. But you have to be careful of Lex, as you said. Last game already on the Camille. Did a lot of split pushing. I mean, it's one of the things he does best. Take a split pushing top laner and just brew hell on the Summoner's Rift for the enemies. We now have next Drake coming up in 40 seconds. They are starting to build up vision around it. Now PERTINAX goes to clear vision around the Baron. There's 2 strong objectives on the map. And that's a good opportunity for either teams to dance around and try to lead the other in a trap or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. Drake is spawning. I don't think that Rift has, without Lex, really good Baron damage, so team damage.
A lot of damage falling on to Leolas, but JJS tanky as always. Merlin comes in, nice shockwave, 3 men hit. Ardafla has to be careful, JJS is onto him. With the CC of his team might be able to get away. Yes, triple kill for the Varus player. With that, that's 3-1 for the Rift SLOTHS. They did this really well without Lex at first as in its team fight. Were able to come out ahead, and with that they get their soul point as well.
Yeah, and still Merlin and Makala need to die, both without a single death. And yeah, this teamfight kinda was started really quick by Rift SLOTHS. Then there was a good shockwave, and then of course JJS with plenty of just tankiness. But somehow there was just no damage for his team, so that's all of his tanking did nothing in the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, which is kind of sad because he played a good teamfight there.
Yeah, but it is what it is. A small pause coming in, so I have to take off my glasses because else you see the reflection of my screens 1,000 times. But yeah, overall, this was up to now a very close game, but now slowly but surely, as you've said at the start, Rift SLOTHS are starting to play towards that soul and get into the driver's seat. PERTINAX will have to try and look for something to turn the situation around, because those slow building up of leads are usually very safe ones and can be super dangerous. You have to stop them in their tracks before they get really started here.
Yeah, and they probably get their third Drake soon, and then, I mean, just the split push win condition is so strong. I mean, we saw it last game with the Camille, we see it this game with the Quen, and there's not really a good answer for PERTINAX to stop Quen later on. So I think this slow game isn't even bad for the ESLOL. So just less action for us, sadly, but they will probably just win it cleanly because they have all the time in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. They can just take it slow, take the win, and it's something that they've always actually done well as well. And especially the split push comps, as I've said earlier, Lex is really good at split pushing. He plays those champions really well, be it the Camille, be it the Gwen he's got going right now. I mean, he knows what he's doing. Even sometimes we saw it on Fiora, where he also always did a really great job. He's definitely playing into their favor to take their time and slowly but surely build a proper lead to take the win. We'll have to see how that goes. How PERTINAX answers. We have the break going on for 3 minutes in total. I don't know how long. Oh, it's already been the 3 minutes, so we are back into this game. Rift SLOTHS versus PERTINAX. We have the kill score even 7-7 with a 2k gold lead for the Rift SLOTHS, on top of having 2 Drakes ahead at Soul Point, which always is a great leverage tool when playing around an objective like the Soul. And they are already 1 point ahead in this best of 5 matchup, so they are currently in a more favorable position. PERTINAX will have to try and find an opportunity to change the tides, as the Rift SLOTHS are currently slowly but surely taking control of this game.
Yeah, no, they even have Tanisha's Tooth on Quen, so she is really strong right now. She can definitely threaten those turrets with like almost two attack speed, so she is so strong and so beefy and nearly unkillable in the 1v1 at least. Even though she takes some bad traits here, she has lifesteal, so that's not too bad for her. Ooh, Shockwave isn't landing, that's sad. And Baron also is at the moment a possibility for both teams, of course. Question is who can secure it first and who can play around it.
That's absolutely. Although I think it might be in the Rift SLOTHS' interest to just... Oh no, looks like they're gonna take a few backs to maybe go at it. I was gonna say, might be in their interest to wait out until the Soul is also there to have this leverage, but seems like they are starting to sniff it out. PERTINAX also had a clue here, are starting to agglomerate around, get some more vision there. Both top laners on the bot lane with TP up can of course join in anytime, unless Lex is the first one to TP up. Then JJS can simply interrupt it and actually TP up himself. So yeah.
Whew. It's a really slow game. I think we all kind of agree on that. They just take their time, and this time for sure. I mean, last time I not blamed them, but I mean they took 31 minutes to finish a game where they are crazy ahead at this time. Ooh, they try to go for a play here.
A lot of damage already falling onto Leolas. Ooh, Adafla gets the kill on Mr. Hub and on Leolas. That's the bot lane out of the way for PERTINAX. They're now 2 men down, only 3 up, and it cost the Rift SLOTHS really little here. They found another engage onto Merlin. Shockwave is dodged with the flash. Flashes over the wall. Shredder goes behind him with the E. That's another kill for the Rift SLOTHS with only 2 people. PERTINAX is on the back foot here, and they won't be able to contest that Baron. Lex is also just around the corner, putting a lot of pressure on Makala here. Needles are threading here. TP bot lane from Buchanan. And yeah, that's the Baron for the Rift SLOTHS, and a few kills also.
Yeah, that's exactly what I needed to close out this game. Now with Baron buff, they can easy just push some waves, just push some turrets. They have a swinging split pusher who can now finally get probably tier 2 and inhib turrets down. and is even soon to be on Rabadons as the first large rock up. So Quen looks strong, the rest of the squad looks strong, so especially Adafla. Like last game, he's definitely performing at the moment. He was the missing part in the first series against PERTINAX. Now he is here, and he shows us why he is so important.
Absolutely. And this time around, no Jarvan to instantly jump onto him, although you do have the depth charge. But the engage from Leolas is quickly interrupted. Strider throws him away. Mr. Hub is the first to die here. Merlin is going to die very soon as well, and so does Leolas. TP in from JJS, but he's now all alone in the midst of the Rift Sloths. Lex is even here, and the damage is huge. Double kill for the Gwen player. Makala, who decided to step back early on, still got kind of in the way of Shredded, but now all alone. Is not going to be able to defend much here.
Yeah, with that, it's even 2 turrets. And an inhibitor probably also falling. Lex is already on his way to top lane. Soul is spawning. So they can just go for double inhib or inhib and soul or something. And yeah, it looks good for the Rift loss.
Yeah, most definitely another turret on the top lane here. And yeah, in the meantime, the gold difference is huge. I mean, it's 9k gold. You get the soul, that's worth a bunch of money as well, virtually. Especially in this matchup, as you said it, Gwen is gonna have a huge advantage from that, and the Jin Zhao as well. It's gonna make him even more relevant going further. So yeah, PERTINAX now a bit driven into the corner. They're not in a good position to fight back here.
No, and especially if you just look at the inventories, nobody has anti-heal, so this soul will be really strong, and there's just no way that PERTINAX is winning team fights at this stage of the game, and so base will just be cracked open, and probably you can even finish with this Baron. No, not with this Baron, because he is soon to be away, but you can just finish with one winning team fight, or with your split push. I mean, just look at Lex, he is alone on the side.
Yeah, absolutely, and PERTINAX takes the opportunity to engage here. A lot of damage already falling on Risen, but with stopwatch survives a bit longer. Leolas is first to die in the team fight on the sides of PERTINAX. They do pick up the kill on Grisen, but JJS dies in the meantime, and Shredded is able to push back, get onto Mr. Hub, who is already really low and forced to fall back. Merlin as well. But in the meantime, that base is cracked open. First Nexus turret is already down at the hands of Lex, who just keeps the push going. And in the meantime, middle lane, we bring in the wave for that second Nexus turret. Riftsloths are 4 members up, PERTINAX only 3. Second turret is falling, a lot of damage falling on Buchanan and Ardafla from Mr. Herbert. Legs is just too fast and finishes the Nexus. Riftsloths go 2-0 in the series for now.
Yeah, well played by the Riftsloths. Clean win. Not really any chance for PERTINAX. If they play like the first 2 games, then it will be 3-0 in my opinion. There was just no resilience left for PERTINAX.
Yeah, absolutely. Slowly but surely taking the win. That's how you're supposed to do it. Now in the driver's seat, definitely in this best of 5 with 2 points. The Riftsloths are on a good way to hand against Dynasty in the finals. We'll see how PERTINAX answers to that in Game 3. As we're headed towards a short break in order to catch a breather and prepare the lobby. We'll see you very soon.